Hello to myself and everybody else. This is video 104. So far today, I'm still looking at the stuff from the Free Code Camp C++ video. And so far, the stuff I looked at last time, or this time in the video I watched, is stuff about functions. So I'm going to get this set up. Alright. So far, the whole thing with functions that basic video taught me was basically the same stuff I learned like earlier in the other video, just setting up a function. So like we can make it simple and just call it like int add, and basically put the arguments inside here. So int a, int b, and basically just saying like with a function everything too, just saying we declare what it is. So it's an integer, the name of the function here, so it's called add, and this is the arguments that will go inside of the function. So something, so it's basically two numbers, int a and int b, so it can be any two numbers like that as long as they're integers. And basically we're just saying return a plus b. So basically this will return like basically whatever number a is, and then add it to whatever b is, and then just return the answer. So basically with that, it would be something like, we'll say int results equal add, and we'll say like 22 plus 2. So basically we just have a variable stuff here, and integer results, that's an integer. It will make it equal the function, put it in parentheses, and we basically put the arguments inside the parentheses here. So this would be, so 22 is a, and 2 over here is b. So basically just take 22, add 2 to it, and from there we just say cout results in L, and then we just run it. And so far we get 24. So far just showing we can make functions and everything like that as well. Also, if we want, instead of just putting the numbers directly inside the function here, we can also do this. Say int a equals, again we can just say like 34. Int b equals, say 2 again. And from here we can just change these to a and b and run it. We get 36. So we can just use either just variables, and these don't have to be like a and b. We can say like, say d and e. So we just change those again. Just run it. Yeah, 36 again. So far, just whatever variables you want, you can put them inside of here and still add them together. Another thing that it showed was another kind of thing with a function, something called void. Basically, we're just saying like with void, I don't have to have a return here, because really it won't be taking in any, well, to be honest, I don't really know exactly when or why to use void. Just I have an example, just say like something like this. Whoop, wrong thing. Here we go. So something like this, where it just is say hello, and then we just say print out so a function like this, void, say hello, and all it does is just print out hello, and that's it. And from here we can just say hello. We can just have this, and it should just print out hello. So run it. There it is, just prints out hello. Again, basically the thing with that is, with these we don't have to have return. With void, there is definitely specific stuff to it, but I don't know it 100%. Because basically, again, it's not a thing where it's like, oh, this one doesn't take arguments, it just prints something out. So that's when we use void. That's not the case. Because we can say something like this. So we say age, and use something like int age, and from there all it does is just print out, let's say you are age years old. So you can say something like this and all that. And let's type in 23. So you can do something like this. It's still void. So far it takes in an argument called int age. So basically put in a number here for age. And it should print out you are age years old. And we got right here say age. So if we print this, the same thing, you are 23 years old. So again, there's like specific stuff with void that I don't fully get. All I know is you don't really need to use a return for that, but I don't know like the full extent to using it. The only one thing I do know is something I'll go into in a second. There's another thing we cannot use void for, so it's just something that I'll just get into later. But so far, really this is it right here for just the basic of a function. So we're just, making a basic function. The next thing it showed was basically a way to make a function, but instead of like declaring them up here, like we type all the code and stuff out up here above the main, we can instead do this. We can just move all this. I'm just like cut all this. I'm going to paste it down here. So basically pasted the functions, the code for the functions below main, which this is all the main code I'll run. And so far what we can do is basically this. We can just take the front part of the function, copy it, and paste it up here and just put a semicolon at the end. And doing this basically allows for your code to look a bit neater. So basically if you're like doing a bunch of code and everything and stuff too, people can just like see the functions up here, see the main code and everything right here. And if they don't really care about how the code works with the function, it'll be at the bottom so they don't have to see it. So with this, we can just run it again and see it still works. Basically, this was just another way just to kind of see that with a function, you can do it this way, declare at the bottom, and then just, at the very top, basically put this up here, just like what the function is, because it'll read this first, then run the code. Then it will basically, with each one of these functions up here, jump to the bottom and see like, okay, what is this? So that was another thing the video kind of taught. So far, another thing that the video did show as well was how to use functions on different kind of files. So basically, again, we have the functions like declared up here, and we have all the code for it down here. If we wanted to, we do not have to have it on this page. We have it on another page. So basically I can do something like this, make a new one, and make a new file. So we'll call this one header.h. So far with this, you need a header file, which basically indicated by this .h at the end. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just naming this one header. Basically you just need a file with a .h at the end. And you also need one other file. This one just call other.cpp. So basically you need a .h file and you also need a .cpp file. Really, these are the two things you really need. So what goes down is this. This up here, this would go into the header. So we're going to just Control X and just paste it into header. So we have the two declarations of the function stuff up here. And then the actual code for the function, we're going to cut this as well. Put it in other. And basically this is the whole thing right here. So in the header, we have this. In the other, in the CPP file, we have the actual code for the functions. In main, the only thing we need to include is this. Put this and put include. So our double quotes, and then from there we just type in the name of the .h file. In this case, it'll be header.h. So this is basically the main thing we need and everything here. And with this, we should be able to run it, and it should still run. Okay, we're having an error here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so the other thing I was talking about before, with this, you cannot do this with a void function. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to comment these out. And with this, we're going to comment out the void. Okay, so now we're going to go back to main and run it. Okay, hold on. Okay, give me a second. Okay, yeah, so far I just have to get rid of this because I just commented the other stuff out. So the only thing we have is just add, and that's it as a function. So run it now. And so far it works. 36, because we have 34 and 2. Add those together, we get 36. This is basically a way if you want to work with like multiple files, instead of having all your code in the main thing, you can just basically connect a file or specifically a header file to your main program and basically just run it from there. So the header will have stuff like int, whatever the function name is, and the arguments. So that'll be in the .h file. In the .cpp file, we'll have the code for the function. The only thing you can't do is, again, you can't have a void function. That just won't work. That's like the only really big problem. So that's just something to keep in mind. Mostly just remembering the .h and the .cpp. And again, just showing what you need inside there. Just again, declaring the function and then the actual code for the function. Then you can run the function in the main program and make sure you include this up here for whatever the header is to get your program to work. Basically, again, I think that's just good for like being able to work with other people and just make other files to not like clutter stuff up. But again, I'm just kind of speculating again. So far, the next thing the video showed was basically a way to show you how variables work in functions. I'm going to go ahead and set this up real quick and then I'll explain it. So I'll be right back in a second. Okay, basically I just got rid of the other files and everything. So far with this, I'll go ahead and set up a function called int, say age. And with this, it'll take in int age. And what it will do is add basically 1 to the age before printing something out. So we'll say your age is years old. There we go. So we have that. So basically, again, it'll say age is the function name. It basically takes in an argument called age. Whatever number we put in here will go up by 1, and then it'll print out your age is whatever that number is, and then years old, and that's it. So far, we'll go ahead, since we have this at the bottom, we'll go ahead and copy this and paste the function up here, semicolon at the end. And what we're going to do is this, say int age equals, we'll just put a number, so let's say 23. And we're going to do this, say cout, say this, age before function is age L. Then we'll go ahead and run the main thing. So we'll say, let's say this, int result equals, say age, and we'll type in age again, cout results in L, and from there we'll just copy this, age after function. There we go. Okay, so basically with the setup done with this, what I was doing is basically with this function, again, we said say age, put in a number, it'll add 1 to that number, and then print out the age. So far, the whole thing with this is to show that we have an integer right here set to 23. It will print out that number, 23. Then we'll run the function, it should print out 24, and then we'll run it again, it should print 23. So let me run it real quick. Hold on. Oh, okay, I see the problem. I didn't put in a return. Actually, I really don't need to put in return. I can do this. Just say void for this and everything. So, just do that. Okay, so now run it. Okay, hold on for a second. Okay, I see what the problem was. Basically, I just do this. Since it's void, I don't need to like declare all this. That's giving it a problem. And I just say, I just get rid of this too. Yeah, so with it being void, I can just directly say age and then just print this directly out. So that was the whole problem there. Alright, so let me run it now. Alright, so besides like a spacing error here, it says age before function is 23. The function takes that 23, adds a 1 to it, and then say your age is 24 years old. Then we print out the variable again, and it says your age is 23. Basically, all this is showing is that when you change something in a function, it doesn't actually change the variable. So this 23 right here, it's staying a 23. It's only being changed inside the function. And then if you do anything else with it, it'll still be a 23. So it's just showing that a function makes a copy of a variable and then runs it. So it's not a matter of like it's instantly affecting this number every time you use it. It's only affecting it in the function. Then it goes back to normal until you change it outside the function. That was basically the whole thing that part of the video was just showing. So far, the next thing it was showing is basically that if you instead don't want to waste space having the function make a copy of a variable and then changing it, you can instead use a pointer, a character pointer, and use that to be able to change the variable here inside the function. So outside and inside the function, it will be changing. Okay, so basically what I have to do is put a star here and here and get a pointer. Also put one here on the first age and also one here. And from there, after that, the next thing we do is basically we're still printing stuff out here saying ages, and then after that we'll just say do this. Position is yeah. And sign age. This will just show the position of the age so we can just like know where it is and everything pointer wise. So let me go ahead and just do the same thing to the other one. And let me do this as well. Also have that. And we also put an and sign here. Okay, so basically the whole thing with that is we basically just said that age here is a pointer. Same thing with the age down here as well. And we're saying with this to change. Actually, wait, no, I think I have this wrong place. Give me a second. I need to do this. Parentheses, start, then this. All right. Basically, we're saying to add 1 to age here. That's a pointer. And then from here, it should print out what the age is. And also the position. And up here, we're saying age is 23. It should print out the age. Run the function. Then print out, again, this age here, which should be changed. So let's run it real quick. Okay, we're having some error. Okay, that's where the problem is. Do that. Now run it. Having another error again. Give me a second. Okay, I put this in the wrong position. Should be in the front, not in the back. Okay, now let's try it. There we go. All right. So base again, age before the function run, 23. So again, this 23 right here being printed directly out. Run the function. Your age is 24 years old. I still didn't fix the spacing, but still. And with that, the one after that, we're printing out this variable again, age. You can see that it changed to 24. So basically using the pointer, you can see you can actually affect this variable by changing stuff in the function as well. It just takes basically knowing what to change to a pointer, and basically an and sign is just specific for position and everything, except for like here, because you actually have to put it. But still, basically as you can see, just the positioning and everything and stuff of each one. This variable right here, you can tell that its position is here. And then when we print out after the function, it's the same variable being changed. So 23 is being changed to 24 in the exact same position. But inside of the function, it's a different position. So far, that's basically just how it works and everything and stuff too with this. The function will be in a different position, but the actual variable is being changed. So that's just something to take note of. I think it's still basically making like a copy of it and then changing that, but it's also affecting the variable on the outside as well. Again, don't exactly quote me on that. Still just going off the video and stuff, but that's really the whole thing with that. And so far, the last thing it showed was basically how to change variables and stuff again. Like the same way we did with a pointer, except this time we're using a reference instead of a pointer. So with this, the only thing we really have to do is change this, the star up here, change it to an and sign. We get rid of this and sign. Change this to an and sign. Get rid of this. And get rid of this. So basically, we only need the and sign here and here. And that's really it. Wait a minute, hold on for a second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, but that's basically it. Really just need the and symbol here and here. And we're basically using it over here to basically just show where the position is as well. But basically that's it. You can see like with a reference, it's way more simple. We only need like an and sign in like 2 places really, and that's it. Unless you want to see the position. But let me go and run it real quick. And basically, again, we get the same thing. Your age 423, so the 23 right here. And you can see the position, everything right here. Then the function, it adds 1 to it and makes the age 24. You can see that positioning is the exact same as the one above, so that it's in the exact same position. Then your age after the function is 24. Again, the exact same thing. It's in the exact same position. So basically we're just showing that these are different things you can do. Each one I'm pretty sure can be useful in their own way. But basically with this, it's showing that with a reference, it's way easier to change the actual variable. Because again, you only have to put like 1 and sign, depending on how you have it set up. Either 1 or 2 and signs, and that's it. But if you're using like a pointer, you have to put like stars and signs everywhere as well to like make sure it works. And if you just use it the basic way without a pointer or a reference, it will only change it inside the function, not outside. So that's really how it works and everything. But yeah, really that was the whole thing with the functions it showed me right now. Just again, really how to set it up, how to use other files and have the function set up in there. Set up functions by reference, pointers, and just, normally. Again, each one of these I can still see being pretty useful and all that. And I'm glad that, again, another video taught me how a function and everything works. So that's like really useful. Just again, there's still some stuff I would have to learn about void. But beyond that, it's like, again, so far, just I would probably use references more if I needed to, or just use the basic one. Pointers just seem like they kind of take way longer to use, and they look like a bit more messy. Plus, again, at least with the reference is at least more consistent with the positioning. So I probably use that one way more. But yeah, that's really it. It's kind of rambling at this point, but yeah, that's really it for this one on this short video on functions. Again, probably short, probably decent long. So to myself and everybody else, see you in the next one.